Just Michael Behrens coming to you live from the 13 on Your Side studios. We've been telling you all week that it's going to be kind of a weather roller coaster as we headed into Saturday and Sunday, and that comes now with the possibility for some thunderstorms overnight tonight, a few of them that could be on the strong side, in addition to the strong winds that we are expecting regardless of thunderstorm development. Even if we don't really see any of those thunderstorms reach West Michigan, we could be seeing winds tonight that would be severe thunderstorm strength, as gusts in excess of 45 miles per hour up to as high as 60 miles per hour are in the forecast for what we can expect to see as we head into those overnight hours tonight and into the early part of Sunday. So let's go ahead and jump into the weather data out there, show you what's causing this system to move our direction. It's the big surge in temperatures. No surprise, as we head into the spring months, when we get temperatures as warm as we had today, storms could quickly follow those. In fact, even at this hour, we've warmed up higher than the high so far in Grand Rapids, now to 64 degrees, 66 in Holland, 70 was the high in Kalamazoo today, 66 at this hour. Clouds in place right now, some rain in Ludington, but otherwise no storms in West Michigan just yet. The winds are really starting to kick up out there, gusting as of 10 o'clock to 44 miles per hour in Muskegon, 37 in Holland, 31 in Grand Rapids. Sustained winds around 20 to 30 miles per hour already moving their way into West Michigan. As we look at the next 24 hours, wind gusts only go up from here. Gusts very consistently around the mid-40s, possible late tonight and early Sunday. Some of those gusts, again, as we said, could approach severe thunderstorm levels. That would be around 60 miles per hour. And for that reason, we do have the entirety of West Michigan under a high wind warning from midnight tonight until Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Now, the concern will be the possibility for downed trees, downed power lines, and possible difficult travel on those north-south roads for high-profile vehicles as winds come in from the west through tonight and into tomorrow. So do watch out for that. The other concern, the risk for potential severe weather out there. It's a low-end risk as far as severe weather chances go. Only a level 1 out of 5, a marginal risk that covers most of West Michigan into mid-Michigan and even as far to the east as Detroit under this marginal risk. The biggest concern and what we're most confident in seeing with the line of storms this evening is damaging winds. Again, those winds going to be a factor regardless of severe thunderstorm development, but there's also a risk from the Storm Prediction Center, a low risk that a spin up or two could come out of this system. Again, much lower risk than the winds, and really not something that we're overly concerned about, but something that there is a risk for, so we wanted to go ahead and pass that information along to you as well. That's going to be the two things we're watching closely here tonight at 13 on Your Side as those storms start to approach West Michigan. The latest radar out there right now shows a light area of rain approaching the region with some thunder up toward Ludington. You may be hearing it come off the lake at this hour. Some lightning has started to come out of one of those heavier areas of rain up to the north. Nothing too impressive right now working its way across Lake Michigan, but the stronger of the two lines, the one that's been causing many problems out to the west today, working its way now into Wisconsin and Illinois. You can see a long line of storms from Wisconsin down through Illinois, including portions of the storm that remain under severe alerts at this hour. You can see a tornado warning for portions of Illinois, including severe thunderstorm warnings to the south of that tornado warning. This is just to the east of Davenport, Iowa, and covering portions of, looks like I-88 there through northern Illinois. So that's the system that's heading our way and something that we're going to be keeping a close eye on. They've extended severe thunderstorm watches out ahead of this line in through central Illinois, stopping just to the west of Chicago, southern and south central portions of Wisconsin, also under this severe thunderstorm watch at this hour. So that's what we're going to be watching, this line of storms heading our way. It's expected to work its way into West Michigan really as we head past midnight tonight. It's going to be those early morning hours that you may get woken up with a round of thunderstorms here in West Michigan. We'll show you the latest model forecast here. You see that first area, nothing too impressive there. But then we get two more lines of storms heading our way. The models have been pretty consistently developing these. One of them approaching between the hours of 11 o'clock and 1 a.m. You can see here on this latest model run from what we call the Triple R, getting into the lakeshore around midnight, quickly pushing through. And let me back that up a few more frames here. The second line there starts to come in as we head past 2 a.m. So it's really going to be an overnight event. They're going to be in and they're going to be out pretty fast. But behind the system, the wind's going to stay a factor into the day on Sunday. Again, high wind warning continues until 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon. As we head into the early morning hours, say 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, really the system is already done. If you're not up overnight or you don't get woken up overnight by the system, you'll be hard pressed to notice it was even here, other than, again, the winds, which will continue into the day on Sunday. As far as any chances for a sprinkle, this model has them in there. I'm not too keen on those. I think we're mostly just going to be looking at cloudy skies tomorrow with the winds that do push through as well. Since it's been a while since we've talked about storms here in West Michigan, I do want to go ahead and just pass along the definitions your way again, just to keep you up to date. Severe thunderstorm watches, if one were to be issued, means there's a potential for severe thunderstorms, maybe tornadoes, hail 1 inch or larger, and wind gusts in excess of 58 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warnings, of course, mean that severe thunderstorms are taking place at that time, and you need to be in your area of storm safety. The same for tornado alerts. Tornado watches mean a system capable of producing tornadoes and severe thunderstorms would be on the way or possible, and tornado warnings would mean one has been identified in person or by radar. Again, the risk for tornadoes tonight, really not what we're expecting. It's going to be a wind event, though, but it's always good to have those definitions refreshed. Well, it's been several months here since we've had to really deal with any kind of storm activity in our neck of the woods. Once it's gone, though, it's back to, well, more seasonable weather. Temperatures will start Sunday up into the 40s, maybe even low 50s, and then continue to fall as we head into the afternoon. We're expecting temperatures around 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon to be in the 30s. It's really going to be quite the difference from today. Then as we head into Sunday night and Monday, snow returns to the forecast. In fact, accumulating snowfall returns to the forecast. Monday, we could pick up 1 to 3, maybe even higher in some places, accumulation here in West Michigan. Some rain-snow mix possible down along the 94 corridor, and then the rest of the week looking pretty quiet until we get to Thursday night and Friday. That's when we could see another round of rain-snow mix work its way back into West Michigan. So that is the basics, the nuts and bolts of what we're looking at here across the region this evening. The risk for some gusty winds pretty much locked in regardless of whether or not we see thunderstorms develop. High wind warnings again start at midnight tonight and go until 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. Gusts pretty consistently around 45 miles per hour, with the possibility of some wind gusts that could make it up to severe thunderstorm strength around 60 miles per hour, especially along the lakeshore. I think they're going to see some of the highest wind gusts as we head through tonight and into the first half of your Sunday. But again, the risk for a few of those storms tonight to become strong, certainly something on the table. That's why the Storm Prediction Center does have West Michigan under a marginal level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather here this evening. So now that you've got the basics out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the Facebook Live comments list to see if you guys have any questions I can help answer with you this evening, or just see who's all checking in tonight. Jerry Bailey in Muskegon says the winds are starting to pick up there. Let's see. Chris asking if the winds will be stronger than expected. I think the forecast here has been pretty locked into that 45 mile per hour gust consistency, with some of those gusts up to 60 miles per hour. That's what we were expecting yesterday when we had that high wind watch go into place, and that's still mostly what we're expecting right now. Martina saying no rain yet, but it's getting gusty. Yep, we're going to feel those winds before we see the storms come through. And again, like we were saying, the winds are still going to stay a factor beyond the time of the storms. The wind warnings remaining in effect until Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. That's for the entirety of West Michigan. Peter says run. It's not quite that kind of a severe event, but something to be prepared for as well. I know George was telling us on Friday, don't do yard work today. If you did, I feel bad for you, because it's all going to get blown back around as we head into the next 12 hours here. Veronica reporting pretty windy conditions in Muskegon. Bubba's saying no wind, but lots of rain north of Manistee. I think you'll feel the wind here in a bit. Let's see. Seeing Chris checking in, or Stacy checking in, saying plenty of wind already. Only light rain near Mercy Hospital. Yep. Definitely windy in Muskegon from Betty. It's going to be a long night. Not the longest night in the world, but it's really going to be a windy night. If you live in an area surrounded by trees, you may definitely have an issue with the winds tonight. You're definitely going to hear the winds tonight too, especially if you're living in a structure that doesn't have the best noise insulation when it gets windy outside. That's something that you're really going to hear those winds whipping around as we head through tonight. Martina checking in. Peggy says it's still calm in Sparta at the moment. Evie reporting very windy in Zeeland. Chris wishing everyone to stay safe out there tonight. Deb checking in says not windy yet on the north side of Grand Rapids. It's not too windy yet here at the station. At least we can hear it in the studio when the winds pick up. Let me check our weather station here behind me. Looks like we're up to about 20 mile-per-hour winds right now here at the station. So not the windiest in the world, but the winds are starting to pick up, and we're going to see it continue to increase through the next several hours. See, Kristen saying windy in Oceana County. Bridget, very windy at Green Lake in Caledonia. Nicole asking if the severe weather they had in Iowa is going to come our way. It's the same system that's been producing that severe weather out in Iowa, but our risk is much lower than what they've had out there this evening. But you can see that strong line of storms from Wisconsin down into portions of Illinois. It's this line of storms here that is working its way our way. We're likely to see some formation between this light rain in West Michigan and that main line that'll come through as well. Anything that comes through ahead of the main line will help to take energy away from the main line of storms, but high gusty winds are going to be associated with this, and the possibility that a few of the stronger cells may make it to West Michigan here this evening. Again, though, it's a much lower risk than what they've seen out to the west, but we do have a marginal risk for severe weather overnight tonight, level 1 out of 5. So that is the lowest category, but something that we are going to be watching closely here this evening, and of course keeping a close eye on, because we want you guys to be informed and we want you to have the most up-to-date information as well. So we're going to be here tracking it throughout the evening. So if anything does develop stronger than expected, you can be assured that we'll be here to keep you up to date. Let's see. Elizabeth reporting it's pretty windy in Belding right now. Same from Jamie in Coopersville. Brian reporting winds whipping around in Roosevelt Park. Let's see. Alice saying very windy in Muskegon. Heather checking in, Erica checking in as well. Dee Dee says extremely windy in Ferrysburg on the lake. Certainly Lakeshore, I think, going to have some pretty strong winds as we head through tonight. You guys are certainly going to be feeling the effects of that. Let me back up a few slides here again. We'll put the high wind warning back on screen. That covers all of West Michigan starting midnight tonight until 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. The highest winds will likely again be along the lakeshore. Consistent wind gust of 45 plus that could reach as high as 60 will be possible. And remember, 58 miles per hour plus, that's severe thunderstorm category, so could certainly see some strong winds here overnight. The wind gust forecast, at least in Grand Rapids, starts to really pick up here as we head through the overnight and into early Sunday. So be ready for a pretty windy 48 hours or 24 hours here in West Michigan. Let's see. Darcy checking in from Manistee. Heidi from Hart. No problem, Deb. Glad to help you out with this information tonight. Pat checking in from Twin Lakes says the wind is getting rough up there. Heidi also saying the wind picking up in Hart. And Nathan in Matawan saying the wind picking up as well. Danny, Bridgeton, April in Holland saying they're getting a little bit of rain there right now. Not too surprising. We'll bump ahead a few screens back to the radar. There's some light rain in West Michigan right now, but none of this is strong and or even really thunderstorm. This is just really light rain out ahead of the main system. So you may see some rain here in the next hour or so, but really nothing too strong with that right now. It's the second wave, the latter waves this evening that could be on the stronger side. Let's see. Loretta is in Florida, but the kids are up here. Let's see, she says, in Leelanau County. I'm not 100% familiar with where that particular county is. Let me look that up here. I probably butchered that too, Leelanau County. That is up in the Traverse City area, just to the north of Traverse City. You guys are going to get some rain up there, but I think you are well north of the severe weather threat. You can see even some wintry mix up into the tip of the mitten and into the UP. You may get some thunder overnight. You'll probably get some wind. But you guys are not actually in the severe risk area up there this evening. So winds going to be the biggest concern up there. Severe weather, I would be very doubtful of that tonight. Cindy saying that Iowa's had some bad tornadoes today. They've certainly had their fair share of severe weather out to the west here today. Let me put on some information onto our radar screen here. We'll look at the storm reports from out west. I know they've had a pretty active day in Iowa, and you can in fact see just the number of tornado reports from this storm system as it came through. We'll put the counter on here. Looks like 33 reports of tornadoes today. Funnel cloud reports out there too, at least 4 of them. I've known you've seen some bad news come out of some of those storms out there to the west today, and the good news for us here in West Michigan is we're not looking at a severe threat that is anywhere near what they've had out to the west. So while there's a small risk for a spin-up tornado tonight included in that marginal, the risk out there was much higher today. In fact, they've been under a level 3 out of 5 risk for severe storms. So it's certainly been a rough day out toward the west, and our thoughts are with them this evening as well. Let's see, Lucy checking in from Fremont. Carolyn reporting the wind is up in Eagleston Township. Chrissy saying it's windy in Hesperia. And Chris saying the lights are flickering where he's at this evening. Certainly going to see a lot of that tonight. The risk for power outages is a possibility as the winds pick up here this evening. We're seeing winds right now gusting to 44 miles per hour in Muskegon, sustained at 30, 38 in Fremont, 37 in Holland, and gusting to 31 in Grand Rapids. And again, the wind gust only going to go up from here. So be ready for the possibility of tree damage tonight and the possibility of some power outages that could come through with this system as well. Because again, it's going to be a windy night regardless of whether or not we see the thunderstorm activity develop. The winds are pretty much a guarantee to come through West Michigan. So it's going to be something that even if we don't see the thunderstorms form, you are going to be feeling the impacts of this particular system as it comes through. So we've reached the end of the live chat right now. So what I like to do with this is we will start back at the top for people that may have joined late. We'll run through it one more time, and then we'll go ahead and let go of you guys for tonight. Of course, we'll be here throughout the overnight and doing Facebook Lives or cut-ins if things like that become necessary. I don't think the risk of that is very high, but it's something that we're going to be prepared for nonetheless to keep you guys informed here this evening. And of course, our newscast will be starting here later this evening as soon as basketball wraps up on ABC. So right now, temperatures are hanging around in the 60s, even warmer than the high today in Grand Rapids at 64. Of course, that warm temperature leads to the risk of severe storms like we could see tonight. Winds out there, regardless of storm status, will be possible, gusting to 44 right now in Muskegon, 37 in Holland, 31 in Grand Rapids. Those wind gusts in the coming hours will continue to pick up. In fact, going to see gusts consistently around the mid-40s with winds that could approach severe thunderstorm level as well. That would be up around 60 miles per hour. High wind warnings are in effect for the entirety of West Michigan from now and, well, not from now, from midnight tonight until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So be ready for a windy time even outside of the storms. So again, the winds will be a constant factor here tonight and early tomorrow. Severe weather risk is a possibility, but it's a low possibility. Level 1 out of 5 risk here this evening for West Michigan. Winds the biggest concern, but we can't totally rule out the risk for a spin up either. And we'll be watching that carefully as we head through tonight. Right now, though, no severe weather in West Michigan. Light rain out there, a little bit heavier once you get up north of US 10 up toward Ludington, but no storm activity in West Michigan at this hour. But we are watching a line of severe storms out toward the west. Strong storms from central Wisconsin down through northern and central Illinois, with a line of severe storms in Illinois at this hour that is working its way our direction. We'll be watching that carefully as we head through this evening. Severe thunderstorm watch in place from about Madison, Wisconsin down through central Illinois for that line of storms as it pushes through. Here's the latest hour-by-hour forecast from the Triple R model here. We'll see some development in the next few hours, possibly some rumbles of thunder in here as winds pick up this evening. Then that stronger line of storms out to the west moves through as we head into the overnight hours. Again, the risk is there for some severe weather, but it's not the highest risk we've ever seen in West Michigan. I'll back that up to around 2 a.m. You can see some stronger cells embedded there. 96 and south, I would think, would be the best risk for the stronger activity. Severe weather risk and storm risk itself drop off as you head further to the north. And then by sunrise tomorrow, all of this moves its way out of West Michigan. Just because it has been a while since we've had to cover storms in West Michigan, it's always good to refresh your definitions. Severe thunderstorm watch means the potential exists for severe storms, possibly tornadoes, hail 1 inch or larger, or wind gusts of 58 miles per hour or higher. A severe thunderstorm warning would mean that storms are happening. Those definitions repeat for tornado watches and tornado warnings. Watches mean be ready for storms. Warnings mean that they are happening. Next 5 days here in West Michigan, of course, total 180 in terms of conditions. Windy for your Sunday. Temperatures falling from the upper 40s, low 50s early in the day to the 30s by the evening. We'll be in the 30s on Monday with accumulating snowfall expected here in West Michigan. And then we kind of settle back into a near seasonable pattern through Tuesday and Wednesday, with the possibility of some more snow and rain as we head through Thursday night and into Friday. Of course, we'll be back here coming up in just a little bit on 13 on your side after the conclusion of the Lakers Golden State game. There's about 8 minutes 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter of that game. We'll be here as soon as that comes to a conclusion. Guys, have a safe night out there. Make sure you have the 13 on your side app downloaded to your phone for those latest updates. 13 on your side weather app as well. Be sure to enable those news and weather notifications. Have a great one, guys.